If I can call the meeting to order. If, you'll lead us in the flag salute, sir.
You join me in saluting the flag of our republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Sorry about that. Commissioner Antuna? Here. Commissioner Bedstead?
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Here.
Commissioner Hatcher? Here. And Chair Hinkle?
Here. Okay, if we can have approval of the minutes. Or excuse me, let me back up here and go over some directions. If there's anybody in the public that we encourage them to join our meetings, either in person or through the internet. If you choose to go through the internet, you can go to the cityofclovis.com/agendas, and you can get the agenda, and it also connect to the meeting through that. You can provide written comments at the same website. You can participate by phone or come to the City Council chambers for the meeting. Okay. If I can go ahead and move to someone that would like to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cunningham and a second by Commissioner Bedstead to approve October 27th, 2022 Planning Commission minutes. Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Bedstead?
Yes.
Commissioner Antuna? Yes. Commissioner Hatcher?
Yes.
And Chair Hinkle?
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Secretary, Planning Commission Secretary, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, we do have one. So a little bit ago, we had staff send out emails kind of just trying to set up the annual one-on-one consultation with the PDS director and staff. If you didn't get the email, we'll go ahead and resend it. I know some of you probably did receive the email. If you did, please go ahead and respond to it so we can get those meetings going. We will resend it to your correct email, Mr. Cunningham.
If you'll resend mine too, please.
Will do.
Okay. Planning Commission, any comments?
I have one, if I might.
Okay.
Since this is going to be our last meeting with our Chair Hinkle as Chair, I'd like to express my appreciation for his 2 years of leadership and look forward to many more serving with him.
Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else like to say anything? Okay, is there anybody here from the public that would like to say something that is not already on the agenda for tonight's meeting? I see nobody in-house. Is there anybody online?
There are none.
Okay. In that case, we'll go ahead and we'll move into our public hearing. We have one item tonight, and that's to consider approval for conditional use permit 2022-006, a request to approve a conditional use permit to allow a child play care facility. The site is located on the north side of Shaw Avenue between Fowler and Laverne Avenues. Little Angels Daycare, LLC, a Nevada limited liability company, applicant and owner Dale G. Mell and Associates, and SMS Construction Representative. Staff?
Good evening, Chair Hinkle and Commissioners. Tonight I am presenting Conditional Use Permit 2022-006, which is a request to approve a child daycare facility. Approval of this CUP will allow the applicant to move forward with the site plan review entitlement process. The site is located on the north side of Shaw Avenue between Fowler and Laverne Avenues. The site buffers single-family residential to the north, commercial to the west and south, and the parcel to the east is currently undeveloped. The project proposes one 10,056 square foot single-story daycare with 10,356 square feet of outdoor play area. The site is currently one parcel. However, the subdivision of the existing parcel for the purposes of facilitating two separate uses was approved by PDS September of this year, subject to conditions of approval and recording of a final map. The daycare will be known as Little Angels Daycare and will provide services for a maximum of 100 children between the ages of 18 months to 4 years old, and is anticipated to staff 14 teachers for the classrooms. The daycare will operate Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with outdoor play time from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. with outdoor play time from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The weekend hours are provided to offer a service to working parents. The site will have two access points from Fowler and Shaw Avenue through a reciprocal access agreement. The site will also be required to provide reciprocal access to the future development to the east. Child daycares are required to provide one space for every 6 children plus a permanent drop-off zone. Therefore, this project will be required to provide 17 spaces in one loading zone and is proposing 26 spaces with the one loading zone. A site plan review is required to memorialize the site configuration and other site-specific designs such as lighting and landscaping. The daycare will be a single-story building with a stucco finish and a covered columned entrance, which is cohesive to the existing commercial development to the west. The daycare building is required to be set back a minimum of 30 feet from residential uses and is proposed at 61 feet. Commercial uses that abut single-family residential uses shall not exceed an exterior noise level of 55 decibels. The project is proposing a 7.5-foot tall concrete block wall around the entire perimeter of the outdoor play area, which will not exceed the allowable noise level per an acoustical analysis that was provided by the applicant. The city has approved multiple child daycare facilities with similar proximity to single-family homes. Staff researched 3 facilities with outdoor play areas that were adjacent to single-family homes and found no record of noise complaints. Therefore, it has been determined that the proposed daycare is compatible with the existing residential homes and the existing commercial uses. Based on the findings provided in the staff report, no adverse effects on the surrounding area, no opposing comments from outside agencies, staff is recommending to the Planning Commission approve Conditional Use Permit 2022-006, subject to the conditions of approval. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Any questions for staff?
I do have a couple of questions, well, one question specifically. In our packet, you provided other daycares that had been approved. These other daycares, however, did not have the Saturday and Sunday, correct? They're just Monday through Friday with the same operational hours and same proposed amount of children. I think some of them exceed the 100, but not Saturdays and Sundays, and there was no concern with that as well. You said that I didn't see anything in our packet.
Yeah, we did not have concern for the Saturday and Sunday hours because it's in a commercial development and the proposal requires the sound wall, so we don't see an issue with it. The Saturday and Sunday hours of operation is a business model that the applicant is proposing, so if they had any more details, then I would direct that to them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for staff? Okay, at this time, I'd like to open it up to the developer of the site, if they would like to address the commission. We'll get it for you here just a second.
Commission Chair, Commissioners, my name is Dale Mell. I'm here representing the owners and developer of the project. We've set the daycare hours and parameters based on what we foresee as a need in the community for the dual income families, where we have a need on weekends to have childcare, as well as vacationers may not be able to take their young children along with them and have an opportunity to drop it off at a daycare facility while they're out on the weekends and returning in the evenings, as well as the working families. So we thought the benefit of that would, and the opportunity for those limited families that work all the time would have a use for this service. The facility itself is centrally located as far as the neighborhoods in the general area, and provide a great opportunity for families leaving to work again to be able to drop off their children conveniently. And we think the community needs some additional child care, and we feel that this is a great opportunity for Clovis to provide that support for the families that look at raising their children in the community of Clovis. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have beyond that.
Any questions? I just have something you might want to think about.
Okay.
And now, tonight would be the night to make a change if you think you ought to. But your hours of operation are until 6 p.m. in the evening.
Yes.
With things that are going on, you might want to add a time frame in there that you want to extend that maybe to 9 o'clock. You don't have to stay open that late. It's just that if you do decide to, you have gotten the okay to be open until 9. And with the way things are changing with people's work and work hours and stuff, that may be an issue down the road. So it's something if you may want to make that change tonight.
Liz, is that something we can add to in our application?
Yes, if you would like to request to extend those hours, you can do that, and then the commissioners can make that change as well.
Okay. Yes, we would like to make that request, and we appreciate the consideration there.
Yeah, because you just have to come back and redo all of it again.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Waste your time for that.
Most businesses are open till that late, and it's.
Well, and the activities Clovis has down, especially like tonight down there on Pulaski, the farmers market during the summer months and everything else. If they have a young child need to stay in the daycare while the parents are down there on the street, that would work well.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that's why I recommend it, and I'm glad to see that you are considering that change. Okay. Is there anything else? Thank you very much, Mr. Mill. Is there anybody in the chamber that represent the general public that would like to speak in favor of this development? Is there anybody online?
There are none.
Is there anybody in the chamber who'd like to speak in opposition to this development? See none. Is there any online?
There are none.
Okay, we'll bring it back. Staff, do you have anything else you would like to add to what's been brought up tonight?
No, we have nothing to add.
Okay, bring it back to the commission for discussion. Is there any discussion for? Okay, then we're open for a motion.
I move to approve conditional use permit 2022-006 with the amendment of item number 6 to be Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, then bring it up for a vote.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hatcher and a second by Commissioner Bedstead to approve conditional use permit 2022-006 to allow a child daycare facility at the site located on the north side of Shaw Avenue between Fowler and Laverne Avenues, with a modification to condition number 6 to extend the hour of operations from Monday to Friday to 9 p.m. Commissioner Hatcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Bedstead?
Yes.
Commissioner Antuna?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
And Chair Hinkle.
Yes. Okay, we're through with the public hearings, and we'll move to administrative items. And the request to establish Planning Commission rules and procedures as a guide to assist with the process and the procedures used in the conduct of commission business. Okay, Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you noted, tonight's consideration is regarding the potential establishment of Planning Commission rules and procedures. At present, your body does not have an existing set of adopted rules and procedures that would guide it as you conduct your business. As you probably have recalled, a couple of questions have come up over the last year or two regarding procedural matters, whether that's votes or the rotation of the chair. And kind of response to that and the upcoming time for rotation of the chair position, we put together a set of these draft rules that we consulted with and got some feedback from the city attorney's office on, and we presented them for your consideration. The focus of these rules is on planning commission makeup, officer roles and selection criteria, and meeting procedures. We took these rules from really three different sources. The first one and the sort of the basis that's least flexible is that a handful of criteria comes straight from the Clovis Municipal Code, and where that's the case, we've cited those code sections so you can refer back to them if you're interested. We also took from historically implemented procedures where we could identify them, and then we looked at what other cities were doing, and we identified a set of best practices and incorporated those. I think there are maybe 13 sections in the rules and procedures. There could be more than that. There could be less than that. We've identified what we think are a reasonable set of procedures that would help provide some guidance as you conduct your business. I'm going to highlight really just 4 of those sections tonight, and then you can ask any questions or make any clarifications if you have any inclination to do so. The first is the rotation of officers. This has probably been the single most item that I thought we would benefit from some clarity and having adopted rules and procedures. The proposal is that officer selection would occur during each even-numbered year in December, so that would be next month. During that selection process, the chair and the pro tem would be selected according to a rotation schedule. The rotation schedule basically would have the pro tem during each selection becoming the chair, and then the most senior commissioner not having served as a pro tem previously would become the pro tem. So let's just say for a second that everybody has been a pro tem previously. Then you would take the person, the commissioner who has not been a pro tem for the longest period of time, if that makes sense. And then after a chair has served a 2-year run, he or she would rotate to the bottom of the schedule and start all over again. Based on those criteria, we put together a rotation schedule and included in your packet as attachment 2, I think. And it looks like what's on the screen. The easiest way to look at this is in the numbered selection on the second to the right column. So it shows that Commissioner Cunningham would become the chair next month, and the pro tem would be Alma as in the number 2 spot, and then in the 3 spot eventually Brandon would become chair after Alma, and so forth. These criteria I think are reasonable. They've been implemented in other cities, but they're not necessarily the only way to do it. If you have other ideas about how do you like the rotation to work, we can look at incorporating those. The second item is relative to parliamentary procedures. I think most of you have probably heard in passing the term Robert's Rules of Order. The city has informally, at least the Planning Commission has informally used these, an alternative set of rules called Rosenberg's Rules of Order, which are substantially streamlined and simplified. A lot of cities use these for their advisory bodies and planning commissions. They're relatively understandable, whereas Robert's Rules of Orders is, I would wager, not necessarily as easily understood and much deeper in terms of trying to find answers to questions. This set of rules and procedures that we're proposing to you tonight would simply clarify that we would use the Rosenberg's rules. Again, it's not a requirement, but it is a recommendation from staff in the city attorney's office. The third item that I want to cover is public hearing procedures. This is simply an outline of the steps that would generally be followed in the conduct of public hearings and that the chair could use as you conduct public hearing processes. They're pretty much what you do on a routine basis as the chair runs the body through public hearings. A couple of particular items is that I'm not sure are consistently done in every instance. One would be to provide a specific opportunity for the applicant to have a rebuttal after other public comments have been made. And then, as Chair Hinkle had noted, there would be an opportunity for staff to make any clarifying comments at the end of the public comment session. This is a pretty, again, routine set of criteria for public hearings. Other than explicitly the last item, which is that the outcome of the vote and decision would need to be announced. The other items are not based in our code at present, but I would call them best practice. And the fourth item that I want to cover is the approval of motions. To make things simple, we've clarified that during any public hearing, any vote requires 3 votes to pass. If an item is considered by 4 commissioners and there's a 2-2 vote, that's a non-decision. That doesn't result in any decision, either approval or denial, but it would be a failure of the motion. So during your normal conduct of public hearing items, you need 3 votes to pass any motion. If a vote to approve or deny a project fails, you don't get 3 votes, you can't get a second, what have you, that technically results in a failure to approve or a denial of the project. But we are specifically asking that the commission do everything it can to affirmatively pass a motion to state its position on a project. So if you try to approve a project, you can't get a majority vote. We would suggest that either an alternate motion be made to deny the project, or you try it with an approval with a different set of conditions or operating criteria, but that you do everything you can to pass a motion to affirmatively state what you want to do with the project. If you can't get there for whatever reason, and we know that might happen from time to time, then we ask that the commission provide statements on the record as to what the concerns with the project are, so that can provide guidance to the planning commission, or excuse me, to the applicant or the city council as they move forward to the next phase. So those are the items that I wanted to highlight, but again, there are a handful of additional items that are outlined in those rules and procedures. I think together it's a pretty solid set as a starting place. If there are things that you don't see that you'd like to address, we can either incorporate them as you define them. We can bring these back regularly, annually, or at some other schedule if that's your preference. But this evening, the recommendation from staff is to adopt a resolution approving the rules and procedures in front of you.
Any questions for staff? Okay, thank you very much, and you will have these for your records to keep, and if you can, I would copy them off and put them on something so that you have them handy that you can go to if you need to go back and review what's going on or how something should be handled. So that's my own personal opinion on what you've put out in front of us tonight. It's good stuff. Yeah, I was concerned that in the past we have left the city, the planning department out hanging after all this discussion and stuff for them not to have an opportunity to go back and clarify what has been said on that project. So thank you very much. This clarifies it now and makes it so that it's something that we should do, or we will do, as we proceed. Okay.
I want to echo the chair's comments. I know Robert's Rules of Order can get bogged down in procedure rather than clarity, so I'd never heard of Rosenberg's before. I thought it was a joke at first, but now I've done some research, and it is not. Exhibit A shows everything that the Planning Commission is involved in, quite a bit more extensive than I had realized and want to raise. Your staff has done very well in bringing forth this document. I think it gives us clarity and guidance in running meetings, and I'm quite happy with it.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else have anything they'd like to say on this? If not, and is it? We can have.
Yes.
Oh,
Pardon? That's where I was headed to. Is there anybody here in the public that would like to say something about this? Is there anybody online?
There are none.
Okay, bring it back. And is this something you want us to vote on, or
Yes.
you would?
There's
Okay,
a resolution in front of you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we establish Planning Commission rules and procedures as a guide to assist us in the process and procedures in conducting the Commission's business.
second.
Okay, call for the vote.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cunningham and a second by Commissioner Hatcher to approve the establishment of the Planning Commission rules and procedures as a guide to assist with the process and procedures used in the conduct of the Commission business.
I think there's a correction on the second.
Oops, my apologies. It was a second by Commissioner Antuna. Do I need to restate everything?
No.
Okay. All right. So, Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Antuna?
Yes.
Commissioner Bedstead?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher?
Yes.
And Chair Hinkle?
Yes. Okay. There's nothing else on the agenda?
Chair Hinkle?
Yes.
Just one final clarification. At this point, it looks like we don't have any items for consideration at your December meeting. So the traditional process would be to cancel that meeting and to notify you accordingly. Just like any good set of rules and procedures, we have not identified what exactly would happen in the rotation process when you don't meet in December. Presumably, we would just schedule that discussion or that rotation as the first item of business in the January meeting. We should know in the next really couple of business days, whether or not there will be a cancellation of the December meeting, and we'll let you know accordingly, but most likely we will cancel the December meeting.
Mr. Merchant, do we have final action on athletic performance? Is that the thing hanging fire, or?
That is the one item that we could schedule if we needed to have a meeting. We're anticipating that the construction would be complete and they would be in full compliance.
Would it still require us to formally accept?
we intend to bring back to you, and this is why I'm hesitating a little bit, we intend to bring back to you a confirmation of that, and we intended to bring it back to you at the December meeting. At this point, we don't have any other items, and so there was some debate as to whether we bring that item to you specifically, if that's the only item under consideration. So we're working that on our end, but there's a fair chance that if that's the only item in December that we would bump the discussion.
Okay. So we will adjourn this meeting at 6:30. John.